In the early 1930s, the world economy took a devastating downturn. The stock market had just crashed in 1929, and what followed was a cascade of business failures, mass unemployment, and a dramatic drop in the standard of living. Can you guess what this period was known as? This period was called the Great Depression. And it was like nothing the world had ever seen before. It was as if the entire economy had come to a standstill, leaving millions of people struggling to make ends meet. Imagine waking up one day to find that your parents have lost their jobs, your family can't afford basic necessities, and the future seems uncertain. This was the harsh reality for many during the Great Depression. People stood in long lines at soup kitchens, and the once bustling factories went disturbingly quiet. The economic devastation was so severe that it demanded a new way of thinking about how economies work. This is where the story of macroeconomics begins. Macroeconomics is like the big picture perspective of economics. Instead of focusing on individual businesses or markets, it looks at the economy as a whole. It's about understanding the forces that drive the overall economic activity, such as national income, unemployment rates, and inflation. But before the 1930s, economists did not have the tools to fully understand or address these large-scale issues. Enter John Maynard Keynes, a British economist with revolutionary ideas. Keynes saw the suffering and chaos caused by the Great Depression and knew that traditional economic theories weren't sufficient. He came up with the idea that the government could and should intervene in the economy to help manage these big picture problems. Keynes argued that during times of economic downturn, like the Great Depression, the government should step in to boost spending. This could mean investing in infrastructure projects, providing financial aid to those in need, or cutting taxes to leave more money in people's pockets. The goal was to increase the aggregate demand, which is the total spending in the economy. By doing this, the government could help get people back to work and kickstart economic activity. But Keynes didn't stop there. He also talked about the importance of monetary policy. This involves managing the money supply and interest rates, usually done by a country's central bank like the Reserve Bank of India or the Federal Reserve in the United States. By lowering interest rates, central banks can encourage borrowing and spending. On the other hand, if the economy is overheating and inflation is rising too quickly, raising interest rates can help cool things down. These ideas were revolutionary because they shifted the way people thought about economic management. No longer were economies seen as self-correcting machines that could always find their balance. Instead, Keynes showed that proactive measures could help steer economies through tough times. Macroeconomics isn't just about numbers and charts. It is about real people and the policies that shape our everyday lives. Understanding macroeconomics is crucial for policymakers, businesses, and individuals. It provides insights into how economies operate and how different policies can impact overall economic performance. Now, here's a question for you. Who is known as the founding father of macroeconomics? Adam Smith, Karl Marx, John Maynard Keynes, or David Ricardo? Let us know in the comment section below, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.